To Disc Golf Answerman, episode 352. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Priest, and I have with me Anthony Vandenheuvel and Danny Lindahl. Eric McCabe is out on assignment, officially assignment. He sent us a message today that said, what did it say? He's out for today because he has a course design meeting with the city about course design at 3 o'clock or 3:30. So hopefully that meeting goes well for Eric. Do I sound faint or I can't quite get as close as I normally do to my microphone?
Sounds okay.
Sounds all right to me, yeah.
Also, lighting looks fantastic.
You like that?
Yeah, with the blue behind you.
And then the blue glowing off my picture and then off my old Keep It Real stamp. And
nobody has ever said Bobby doesn't know what he's doing. It's obvious right now.
A couple of years ago, there was a guy on our YouTube page that was pretty adamant about being terrible for disc golf and dynamic discs. Anyway, so we're back for episode 352. We got a great show for you. A lot of disc golf questions, a lot of disc golf news, special shout outs. We get to hear about Anthony's pick. And we're going to do some early picks for Waco because there's about a 90% chance that Anthony and myself will be traveling to Waco for the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Well, the Waco Annual Charity Open. And we're going to hopefully do some video work out there, some photography work out there, and get to have some content for you guys with our players and also some Torchy's tacos. So I'm just putting it out there. Just saying.
Look, if there's Torchy's nearby...
And there is.
Yes, we just have to know that.
And there is. That's literally on one of my dating app profiles. Did I just say one of my dating app profiles?
You did, as if you have multiples. Like, oh, you didn't match with Bobby 1. Here's Bobby 2.
On the same app.
Yeah.
And it's like with a mustache drawn on the picture.
Yeah. One's all about dogs. The other's all about cats. And
Here we go. We're going to go
diversify your assets
behind the scenes and show you. Is it on this one? It's on this one. Oh no, it's not on this one. It's on the other one.
I think there's something with YouTube and Restream where it always creates a new event every time we go live because the one everybody was waiting on. It's a different thing here.
On YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube. That
shouldn't be the case. It should push out to the one.
It just happened.
I know. I don't understand why it does that. Interesting. Well, my apologies, folks. And I can't believe we're getting into this. Here. Something that's not negotiable for me is if a Torchy's taco is nearby, we are grabbing some tacos right there.
I can confirm.
I can't confirm.
All right, Bobby, so I like Torchy's, but I would not classify Torchy's as one of my personality traits.
That's why you are you and I am me. And I'm single and you're not, apparently. So, okay.
You probably get to eat a heck of a lot more Torchy's than I do, though. So it kind of balances out.
All right. Let's get things rolling for the actual episode. We've got everything hooked up. I got my questions ready to go. We do have a handful of speak pipes. We'll be able to enjoy listening from our listeners. We appreciate you guys doing that. And send in those questions to speak pipe because we love hearing from you.
It's a Uno reverse card.
Yes.
They're usually the listener, but for those few seconds, we're the listener. We got played.
Here we go. Record on the computer. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answerman. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. I have with me Anthony Vandenheuvel.
Hello.
And Danny Lindahl. And hopefully for our YouTube watchers, Tracer will make an appearance. I don't see her quite yet. So
she might make a small, short appearance as she sprints by.
Yes.
She's been running laps this morning.
Nice. So this is episode 352 of the Disc Golf Answerman show. We're glad to have you guys with us. It's a beautiful day here in Emporia, Kansas, about the low 60s. I'm hoping to get out and play some pickleball this evening. What about you guys? You going to do any disc golfing today or get out at all today?
Not today, but I'm definitely getting out this week. It's beautiful outside.
Yeah, this whole week is going to be good. Hopefully you'll be able to get out in your area, but if you're looking for an event to play in, we have the disc golf match play that's starting up here in March. Now this is the doubles bracket. We already have a record amount of events compared to last year, which is fantastic. Let's see if I can go to brackets, local doubles here. We have 120 local qualifying
Jeez.
brackets in 36
Already.
states.
Wow.
Lots of disc golf match play to be played. And who's in the lead now? Kansas.
Hey, we did it.
10 brackets.
Go us.
We're doing awesome.
For those of you
Colorado.
wondering, Anthony and I have made our contribution to that. We will be taking down one of the local brackets. So we'll see
Nice.
you at the finals.
Yeah, we'll see everyone here in Emporia competing because
Right. Yes.
we'll be
as
here
you-
playing.
You're right. You'll be filming as well. So,
What
Colorado and Alabama are in second place with 9, and Wisconsin third with 8 brackets. So,
Cool.
yes, I mentioned Colorado. So, yeah, so good job to those states. Still looking at you, Loserana. Nothing there.
Loserana.
Still nothing. Us
Still
mocking
looking
them last week didn't change anything.
I know.
That's crazy, man.
It did encourage them to make more.
Wow.
Anyway, so get yourself out there and play. Discgolfmatchplay.com. Look for a bracket near you and get yourself a partner and play some disc golf. See if you can win some prizes. Come out here to Emporia, Kansas. All right. You guys ready to just hop onto the questions?
Sure.
Yes.
All right. As always, go to discgolfanswerman.com. Look for that Submit Your Disc Golf Question tab and submit your disc golf questions. We'll try to get them on the air. This first one is from Zach. I recently signed up for my first tournament. It is a relatively large B tier at my home course, which I have logged upwards of 75 rounds. My best round on this course is a 9 down, but my next best rounds are 3 down. I've been playing almost 2 years, can throw over 350 feet and make 5 to 7 out of 10 putts from 30 feet. Therefore, I signed up for the intermediate division since I match up to the description. Someone saw my name on the sign up and asked to play a practice round together as he is not familiar with the course. He nonchalantly shoots a 8 down and says he is also competing in the intermediate division. Did I sign up for the wrong division? Should I be trying the rec division before jumping straight into intermediate? Is he in the wrong division? Or is the intermediate division that large that someone like me can shoot the best round of my life to beat someone else's average round by 1 stroke?
I mean, that's the way that I think of it is when you're playing around, you're playing against yourself. And that's why it's kind of hard to say exactly what division you're in. Because depending on the course, 3 or 9 down could be really good. Like out at Idlewild or something like that. That'd be crazy good. But at like Flint Hills or something here, it's not as good. So I wouldn't worry too much about it because I think the amateur divisions are for seeing where you land rather than gunning for wins. If you're the kind of person that's really challenging, always trying to win, always trying to be on top, for your first tournament, I would still play intermediate. But I mean, if it goes very poorly, you'll know after that.
I mean, it's one tournament, so it's not like And
yeah.
the guy was 1 round. Now,
Exactly.
obviously, there may be more to the story, and he may have, even though it felt nonchalant, he may have shot lights out compared to how he normally plays. So I don't know that I would get all in a tizzy over 1 round you played with someone on a practice round.
Yeah, you played 1 round with that guy 1 time, so you can't say that that's his average round, right? He was talking about how shooting his best round would beat this guy's average. You don't know if that was that guy's best round too. So yeah, I think intermediate's fine. And yeah, it's one event. If you win by 10 strokes, play advanced. If you come in last by 10 strokes, go down to rec.
What if that guy is one of those people that gets really nervous around tournaments and plays really poorly, but always shreds it in the practice round?
Yeah. I think intermediate's fine.
Also, when you go to play your tournament, throw all your expectations out the window. Like don't bring all that pressure into yourself. You're just going out to play around. Having a score in mind tends to make things a little bit more stressful than they need to be.
Absolutely. Yep. All right. Next question comes from Elliot. Hey, DeGam fam, I'm a junior disc golfer from Indiana and run a fairly large junior league in my area. This year, I am planning on running 2 to 3 clinics and 1 junior tournament. Another thought I had was to offer disc golf lessons to young kids who may want to actually get into this incredible sport. I have noticed a severe lack of formal teaching in person, and I really want to make a difference that way. I would love any advice you guys have on activities, length of sessions, and anything else you might think of. Thank you so much in advance.
Oh boy. I'm not very good at one-on-one lessons, like in-person lessons. I don't know why. I'm just not very good at helping people that way, but there are some people who are really skilled at it. We had someone here who was doing in-person lessons for a while. A lot of our touring pros are really good at stuff like that. But from what I've done of in-person lessons, I always try to focus on one thing rather than trying to change everything at once, because trying to change everything just ends up being really frustrating and creating a whole lot of bad habits. So I usually focus on just one thing at a time. And what usually happens is like someone will throw and I'll be like, okay, so you could try reaching a little bit wider or reaching back a little bit wider and lower and see if that helps. And then they'll throw again and they think that they reach back lower and wider, but they don't. And then they look at me like, okay, was that better? And it's like, well, no, try again and really try to reach out this time. And that happens a few times and it's really frustrating, but filming people and showing them like on the film where they can improve is helpful. And just having a lot of patience definitely is going to be, but good luck. I think just getting out there and doing it helps.
Yeah, Anthony, didn't you help one time Dixon or somebody who did some of the stuff out there? Didn't you, or did you just go? I thought you did one time. You volunteered to help.
Stuff with people teaching at schools and stuff, but I am not a teacher. I can watch and say that didn't look right, but I can't. I don't have whatever Danny has that is like, okay, this is what you're doing wrong. This is how to fix it. This is why. I don't have that. I can look and say, yeah, dude, that was bad. Don't do that again.
That is exactly what I do, and that is bad.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is, like, at least to me, it's important to put yourself out there and make it known that you're willing to help people, but don't like critique. Like, I think he said something about going to schools. If you're teaching kids in mass groups like that, the most important thing is to make sure everybody has fun and that nobody gets hurt. So things like ring of fires, things like put a basket 50 feet away and just let everybody throw at it, and someone's probably going to throw it in, and then everybody goes nuts. Mm-hmm. But if you're like out at your course and you see somebody that might be newer, you can walk up to that person and say, hey, my name's so-and-so. I've been playing disc golf for this long. If you want any help or if you want any tips or something, let me know. Here's my number. You can text me or whatever. But don't go up to that person and be like, hey, my name's Anthony. You're doing this wrong and you need to do this. And if you want to throw farther, you need to get a rated. Like, don't be that guy.
You get because that person, in the face.
Yes, that person is just going to leave and think, hey, that guy sucks. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to be around him. So yeah, at schools and stuff, just keep it fun, keep it casual, and keep it safe.
Something that a lot of people want to do when they hear, I don't usually do one-on-one lessons just because I'm not very good at them. And so people will be like, oh, we can just play around and you can give me tips while you play the round. The problem with that is you will play very poorly because you're changing something and it's not your normal throw. It's just going to be inconsistent. And so, I mean, I'm down to do it, but like, yeah, usually in the field is a better setting for learning rather than playing around.
Definitely.
All right, let's check out what we got on SpeakPipe. Let me do some adjusting here. And this one is from Michael.
Hey guys, this is Michael from the Chicago area, but soon to be Fort Worth. Hey-o! Coming down to Robert's old stomping grounds in that Texas area. Hearing about all these courses that Emac is designing has me really interested in going to play some, and I'm wondering if you have a resource on the website that lists all of the courses that he's designed and it's sorted by state. But also, I think what would be awesome is if Emac himself did a top 10 favorite courses that he's designed, and also one or two little attractions in that area, like a restaurant or a taco shack that he hit up when he was in town designing it, that he thinks might be worth checking out. I think people would be super into that, just like they're super into you fabulous guys. Keep up the good work. Happy New Year, and may it all bring us better fortune than it did in 2020.
We are so fabulous. We are really fabulous.
I feel pretty fabulous today, not gonna lie.
So last episode a couple weeks ago, Danny pointed out there is a course portfolio at dynamiccoursedesign.com. There's about 14 listed there. I do not think that's a complete list of courses that Eric McCabe has designed. I don't know of any other place where he specifically has listed everything he's designed, but I have a feeling we've talked about it a while back, and so that's something that hopefully is in the works. He is obviously not here to talk about it. So again, because he wasn't on the last one to confirm or deny whether he has a list somewhere of specific places he has designed. Now I do know he has a Facebook page
Right.
called Eric McCabe. Let's see, champion
I think it's world champion course design or
course
something.
design.
like that.
Yeah, where he usually is pretty active as far as telling people where he's at and what he's working on and stuff like that. So you can follow that if you want to kind of follow his course design adventures for sure.
I have picked his brain about this a little bit
Yeah.
from time to time. So I don't know his top 10 favorite courses, but I know the farm at Quail Valley is one that he's super proud of. That's down in Winfield, Kansas, just south of Wichita. He talks about the hollows a lot up in New Hampshire, I believe, somewhere up in the Northeast.
Yeah.
And the one that he's, at least that I've heard that he is his favorite and the one that he's most proud of is Meyer Lake up in Alaska.
Mhm.
And that's an incredible course. I haven't played the other two, been to Winfield. Meyer Lake is incredible. If you have the chance, obviously it's not quite as accessible as something like Kansas or New Hampshire, but it's absolutely worth the trip. There's an event going down there at the end of June, I think, if you want to play in something big there.
Very cool. All right, next question comes from Jonathan. This is actually a hot take.
Ooh,
Will disc, of course, this is a question. This isn't a hot take. Will disc golf stick around post pandemic? I've seen an influx of players, but will they stick around? And if they do, will they have the time to continue consuming disc golf at the current rate? Thank you for all you do and keep it real. No, in fact, we have a closing date of, I think it's May 5th. We're just going to shut everything down, close the doors. I have a couple of applications in for a accounting position at, so yeah, it's pretty much going to go away completely.
Yeah, the PDGA said, all right, they changed the name on GBO. We'll let him get 1 year in his video.
Right.
Then
Yeah.
Anthony gets to celebrate his birthday, and we're
And then
pulling
we're
all
out.
the baskets.
Yeah.
Disc golf's over.
We're out. So
Yeah.
yes. And of course we're being very sarcastic. This is a topic that has been discussed several times here at Dynamic Discs. Just not that disc golf will go away. Obviously it's not going to go away, but what's going to happen as far as I like to say, like there's a baseline where you could feel where the popularity of disc golf is, and it just shot up during the pandemic, right? And at some point when people don't have to, when they can start getting out more and doing other things, there's going to be a group of people that's going to be, the discs are going to be collecting, cobwebs in the corner and dust and stuff like that. But I think as we come down to a new base, it's going to be much higher than the original base, because some people are just going to fall in love with it and want to continue to play it and invest time in it. Now, does that mean we're going to get a bunch of more pros? No, but you're going to be some people that, like me with pickleball. I'm never going to become a pickleball pro, but I love still going out and playing me some pickleball when the weather's nice. I'm still going to buy pickleball paddles. I'm still going to buy pickleball balls. So I'm still going to be invested into the sport, just not to the level of like a top turn pro or something like that. And I think that's because I kind of discovered pickleball during the whole pandemic thing. It was something else to do that wasn't disc golf, but that was active and got me outside and got me around people and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I mean, we all know if you're listening to this podcast, you probably got bit by the disc golf bug,
Right.
and it bites hard. So
Yeah.
It bites. That should be, we should put that on a flyer.
it bites hard.
Get bit by
Wear
the
your
disc
bug
golf
spray.
bug. It bites hard. All right. Next one is from Cody. This is on hyzer bombs. What are some tips when throwing a forehand hyzer bomb?
Hyzer bomb forehand.
Throw it forehand.
Yep.
Throw it on a hyzer.
Hyzer and bomb it.
Throw it far. Yeah.
The idea behind hyzer bombs in general is like, you don't want to throw your most overstable disc, because then it'll do more like a spike hyzer. If you're trying to get like a long shot that also finishes on hyzer, you kind of got to throw something a little bit straighter and start it on just more hyzer and let it kind of flip up the whole time as it goes. Kind of like that push hyzer line, just more hyzer. And so, I mean, on forehands, it's kind of hard to throw on a hyzer angle, but if you can get that, I think there might be more power there. And it's just, that's how you're going to get that straight flight that just gradually curves to the right.
Yeah. And keep your wrist like on that angle.
Mhm.
Do not roll your wrist, because if you roll your wrist, it's not going to hyzer. It's just going to dump over. I mean, that's not strictly for hyzer bombs. For any sidearm, you don't want to roll your wrist, but especially if you're trying to throw hyzer. One thing that I find that I do is I'll kind of drop my throwing shoulder, and that causes me to kind of sky the shot and throw it nose up. So you want to make sure that you keep your shoulders as close to level, or at least on that plane that you're throwing it, and then just keep your wrist again on that same angle as well.
All right, Anthony, who's this week's squad member shout out?
This week's squad member shout out is Andrew. I believe it's Linhart. Andrew is among the top people that has referred friends to join the squad. There's a task within the squad where you can refer a friend and get extra rewards points. And Andrew is, if not the most friend referring member, he is among the very top there. So I wanted to give a special thank you to Andrew. If you're not already a member of the squad, you probably don't know Andrew, but you can go to squad.dynamicdiscs.com and sign up, and then you can refer your friends.
What is the squad, real quick? We didn't really preface that on the way into the thing. If you don't know,
And
go ahead.
what if I don't have any
go for it.
friends?
That's
Hit up Andrew Linhart. Please don't do that.
He'll be my friend.
Yes, please, everyone, leave Andrew alone. The squad it's kind of like an extra fan club for people that enjoy dynamic discs and really all three Trilogy brands. It's a way to get more out of your dynamic discs experience. You can, just by doing things that you already do, like reviewing products, posting things on Instagram, you get rewards for them. You get points for them. As you build those points, you can get discount codes on certain items. You can get exclusive items. You get free items. You get the chance to be shouted out on Facebook, Instagram, Disc Golf Answer Man, really anything like that. It's just kind of another way to connect with us and for us to connect with you, and you get some cool stuff out of it. So like I said, squad.dynamicdiscs.com.
that sounds
Nice.
really cool. Thanks for explaining it to me.
Anytime, Danny.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, let's do a couple more questions. This one is from Alex. With the release of the Emac Judge and the previously Emac Truth, will we ever see other DD Pros get their own tweak molds of discs? Who's to say we do? Who's to say we don't? I mean, it's always a possibility. There's nothing in the works that I can tell you guys about, but you never know. We're always working on something. So next one comes from Justin. Hey, DGAM, I've been having an issue on my backhands lately where I throw flat and my arm follows through flat, but my disc seems to be coming out on hyzers every time. Are there any ways to prevent this from happening, or any drills I can do to pinpoint what is causing this? Thanks for keeping it real, lads.
Sometimes what feels like a hyzer release is kind of a nose up release. And so that could be the issue. Or the other thing is you actually want to follow through kind of up for a flat shot. So try and because really you only follow through flat or down for anhyzers, because you're pulling the disc below your shoulder. Ideally, you're not pulling it up here by where your shoulder is. You're kind of pulling it chest height. And so if your arm were to naturally pivot there, it would go up. So you might be leaning too far over your toes, like bending over at your waist too much. Tip to fix pretty much all of these is just to try and keep your spine mostly straight from side to side, and just keep your weight over your toes and try to push your elbow far out in front of you. You don't want to scrunch your shoulder up and pull the disc, because that can sometimes cause it to slip out on a hyzer. But if you push your elbow out far away from you, that'll give the disc time to come in front of you and stay on that flat angle.
Very good.
Cool.
Yes, that is cool, Danny. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, Bobby.
All right, let's go back to Speak Pipe and let's hear from Thomas.
Hello, Disc Golf Answer Man crew.
Hey.
This is Thomas Stiles from beautiful, sunny San Diego, California.
Ooh.
This question is in reference to Lindhall's guides. When we adjust grip to throw putters nose up, do we keep the same arm path from reach back as if we were throwing drivers nose down, pulling underneath the elbow? Also, can we get a video on how to throw forehands nose down with hyzer? My disc golf game has improved a lot. A lot of it's from your guys' videos. So your guys' advice and talks have been priceless for me. I'd like to do a shout out for Clint Calvin at
Oh yeah.
his performance at Goat Hill. Hearing Philo say his name was kind of cool. And to Tristan Tanner, I met him at Kit Carson Park right before everything went down, and then saw him kick ass at Vegas. All right. Thank you guys.
Nice. Tristan
Nice.
is a good dude. I don't know that I ever met Clint Calvin.
He's Latitude sponsored. He did really well at Vegas
Yeah, he
Okay.
finished in 10th.
just last weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
He
you
did
guys
really
even more
well.
hyped then.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, dude. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. What he's talking about is when I throw mids and drivers, I throw with a power grip, right? All four fingers kind of curled underneath the bottom. But when I throw putters don't generate as much lift on their own. And so they need to be a little bit nose up. That's just the most comfortable way for me to throw them. And if you're struggling with your putters flipping over too much and they're not really wobbling, they're just turning over, I recommend you can try to throw them a little bit more nose up. There's a few ways you can do that, but the easiest is just to keep the same throw as you would with your drivers, but change your grip a little bit. Personally, I go from a power grip to a control grip, which is where my middle and my ring finger are fanned out on the disc, and my index finger and my pinky finger are still curled underneath the bottom, just like a power grip. Something about that little bit of change just tilts the disc just a little bit nose up, and that lets it fly a much more controllable, a much more neutral flight path. There's other ways that people do that, and people throw putters just fine nose down if you throw them high enough. But that's just a tip that I give people if they're struggling with getting a good flight out of their putters. But yeah, just the same arm, same everything as your driver shots, just change the grip. And that's, for me, is really consistent. You do kind of have to aim a little bit higher just to give the disc more time, but that's really it. And then did he ask about forehands on hyzer?
Mm-hmm.
The real thing, the real big thing that a lot of people miss is they will follow through up as they throw their forehands. Make sure you're following through forward. If you follow through up, that tends to shift your weight the wrong direction and tilt the disc back. So just make sure your weight's forward and your arm. I like to start the disc on the angle that I'm going to throw it at just for muscle memory. So try to start the disc and keep it on that same angle the whole time. That can help a lot with just making it feel more comfortable.
Excellent. All right. Next question comes from, where did you go? Damien. He wants to know when he can start buying discs using, I never know how to pronounce this. Is it Dogecoin? Dogecoin?
Doge? I say Doge. I don't know. I've heard doggy before, but I don't think that's it.
I don't think that's it. Probably not anytime in the near future. I mean, you just now have, I just saw something where there's only a handful of banks that are starting to recognize even Bitcoin, where they're getting into kind of recognizing it as a form of currency. I don't know that you'll ever start seeing that. I don't know. Have you guys heard of any pro shop or anybody online accepting, other than like an individual accepting Bitcoin?
Yeah,
as
I'm
a
sure
form of
there's
payment?
private sellers that you could,
Yeah.
but I haven't heard of any brands or businesses or anything. No.
I don't know. I think it's still too early and all of that to see.
I think it's really cool, but
I think someone's sitting on $1 million Bitcoin and they're like just wanting to buy a bunch of discs.
a million Bitcoin would be.
Yeah, discs is not what I would be spending that on.
I would be looking at fleets of helicopters at this
Oh my
point.
gosh, yes, I would be buying the globe.
What was it trading at? Isn't it one of those things that keep going up and down as far as
it's
the
very
Probably
volatile?
Yes, that's the word.
Yeah, very volatile. All right, while you're looking that up,
it's $47,000 right now
for
one
one
for
Bitcoin.
one Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to my couch real quick and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's $2 now. Okay, now it's 60.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait a minute, 30. Wait a minute, $20.
Wait a minute. Never mind.
It's negative money somehow. I don't understand. You owe.
You owe them. Yeah.
Have you guys heard about? There's some guy that I forget the exact dollar amount, but has like $200 million worth of Bitcoin in some encrypted hard drive that he doesn't know the password to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could
Well,
you
and
imagine?
the thing is that what is it? I think you get. In
It's
order
like
to
you get like
to
5
in,
tries or
yeah,
something.
5 tries is on
And
like
then it
try
just-
number 4 or something like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then it just fries itself.
Golly.
Could you
That would be
imagine?
Anyway, all right. Next question comes from Joe. This is on Dynamite Discs lineup. I recently discovered how awesome DD discs are. That's all he has to say.
That's
Thanks,
it.
appreciate
Cool.
that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
same. Accurate.
And I'm looking to get my hands on some more as soon as I can. My question for you guys is this: if you had to create a 5-disc DD set that best shows what DD has to offer across the board, what would be in it? Not necessarily a starter pack geared toward beginners, but the 5 discs you think represent what DD has to offer in their lineup. I mean, that's going to be kind of different. I mean, it's going to be different
That's
across the board,
tough.
right?
Yeah. No.
Okay, so
I
I'll
don't
go
think-
well, I don't want to influence Well, I don't think
Are we
it'll
doing
influence what you answer.
is it a combined list? Or we all make, or do we each make our own list?
I think we each make our own.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I would go with Judge, Emac, Truth, actually, the original Truth. Maverick, Escape, Trespass.
Mine's similar.
What would you have that's different?
I
If
think
someone
I
said,
do-
give me 5 DD discs, you're like, here's the 5 you need to get introduced to us.
So is it that, or is it like,
Not a starter set, but someone's like, dude,
And
I've
not
been throwing brand
Okay,
A, B, Z,
yeah.
whatever forever. I'm ready to throw DD. What are the 5 discs I need to
think-
just get going?
And it's not like you're playing a whole round with just these discs.
yeah,
Correct.
I think it's Judge, Emac, Justice, Escape, and then for me it's a toss up between, like, it's probably Felon, but it's either Felon or Enforcer.
Wow. Okay.
I think
I was
maybe
gonna
Raider.
do
I think I would like say Raider. Sorry, Danny.
I was gonna do what Anthony said, except add Getaway as the
Flare. I
last
thought you were
one.
gonna be like, except I'm gonna add
I
flare.
was
to it.
put sparkles on them or something.
right,
I don't
yeah.
know. But
What's it
like
called? Metal Flake.
we all did like slow discs. If we assume that he's got
Hmm.
a putter that he's happy with already, I want to say like the most unique discs to our lineup. I got to put Justice in there because the
Yeah.
Justice is just insane.
Yeah,
There's not any other disc out there like the Justice.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I think the Escape is really special too. It just goes really far for like no power.
Yep.
The Maverick is also really good, super controllable.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got to put Emac in there too, just because it's a really great mitt. It flies like a fairway driver, super straight, still has
Mhm.
reliable fade, and then I think Trespass. I think Trespass is like it's a disc everybody can throw, and it will go far for everybody.
Yeah.
Trespass is one of those, like, it's been around since the very beginning, so people tend to forget about it because of all the new stuff, and just they
Mhm.
just forget how awesome a Trespass really is.
Yeah.
Very cool. There you go. There's our 5 discs from 3 different people. So there you go. I wonder in the YouTube chat what people would say if their 5 discs are. Well, Professor Danny, what disc golf tip do you have for us
Oh,
this
man.
week?
If I'm a professor, I'll put my glasses on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my disc golf tip for today is about finding the right shoes to play disc golf in, because a lot of people, if you're starting out, you might have realized that your tennis shoes are not holding up as well as you would like to, and you're looking to get some shoes. And I can just give you some tips as far as what to look for. The thing about throwing, especially backhand, and I guess to a certain extent, every throw off the tee pad, is there's a lot of inertia and you're stopping. And so that is a lot of friction against the tee pad. That is a lot of force, assuming you're a grown person, and the concrete is very abrasive because it's concrete. So it's going to be a losing battle for your shoes regardless. If you get super durable shoes, I usually don't even expect them to last more than a season, depending on how much, if I play a lot. So just fair warning, it's going to be a rough time no matter what. But if you get nice shoes, they will let you throw a little bit better because they're going to grip a little bit more and give you a little bit more stability. I have seen people play barefoot before. I would not recommend that because there would be blood.
Tear up your feet.
If you can throw barefoot, but like you're not going to throw well because you won't have any power from your lower body because you're sacrificing that to save the skin on the bottom of your feet. Tennis shoes are perfectly fine. There's a lot of touring players who just go play in tennis shoes or something like that. But in my experience, they tend to wear out quicker, and they don't provide as much lateral support as I would like. My foot tends to like slide out of them. Not as much as Calvin Heimberg. I don't know if, everyone here has seen that picture of like his foot is basically in the sock of the shoe and the rubber is like behind. It's crazy. But yeah, you can play in tennis shoes, but they are going to wear out pretty quick. Sandals could cause injury. They can slip out. They're not really good. Flip-flops, your heel will definitely slip out. And Crocs are only acceptable if you flip the little thing back and put them in sport mode. They're God tier. Then any other situation, I would avoid them.
That's when you mean business.
That's when you're like serious. That's all-wheel drive mode right there. Things to avoid in shoes. A lot of people will go out and try and buy just these super heavy, durable, like work boot type shoes and go play disc golf in those, because the logic is they're not going to wear out. If your other shoes are getting holes in them, these aren't going to get holes in them. And that's absolutely true. But they tend to slow down your throw a lot, and they throw you off balance, and they don't let you have as much mobility. They tend to be heavy and make you tired. So I would advise against playing in like really big work boots. Obviously some people do, but I don't advise that. Another thing that a lot of people will find is not necessarily hiking boots technically. And they're really durable shoes, really big shoes. And then the ankles lace up really, really tight. And the idea is while you're hiking, you don't roll your ankle. The problem with that is your ankles need to move to be able to throw properly. And so you'll get blisters, and it'll be not very comfortable if you're throwing with those shoes. So if you have those shoes, that's totally fine. But loosen up the laces around your ankle a little bit. And maybe, I don't know, don't do the last few holes or something like that. Just know that if you get something that doesn't let your ankle move, you're going to have a hard time. And also if people play in shoes that aren't very durable, that's fine. You're just going to have to buy them more often. Things to look for in shoes. I always look for a lightweight shoe. That's just personally, I prefer to have lightweight shoes. I don't like throwing in heavy shoes. Some people don't mind it as much as others, but yeah, that's something I always look for. You want to find durable shoes if you want like bang for your buck, if you want them to last for a while. Usually an outdoor brand like Keen, Salomon, Merrell, Adidas Terrex, or I've had some Under Armour shoes that have lasted a really long time. There's going to be recommendations from everybody, but and some of our pros are actually sponsored by shoe manufacturers. So if you want to support them, definitely buy from that manufacturer. But those are the brands that I tend to look for just for shoes that are going to last. If you're a toe dragger, I drag my toe on forehands, not really on backhands, but it can be good to look for a covered toe. Some hiking shoes will have like a rubber kind of cap over the end of a toe, not a steel toe, but like it's just covered in rubber, and that helps them last a little bit longer. The style of shoe that I look for is trail running shoes, because they tend to be styled a little bit more like sneakers, so they're comfortable, but they're still designed to be on a trail, so they're very durable. But another thing, the last thing I wanted to mention is waterproof shoes. Some people will swear by waterproof shoes and say it's fantastic and they'll never get anything else. And those people, that's totally fine. I don't prefer waterproof shoes because my feet sweat a lot. And if water doesn't get in, then water doesn't get out. And my shoes will be radioactive in like a few weeks. If I wear them for a lot of rounds, I keep them in the trunk of my car, my whole car will stink. So I don't look for waterproof shoes, but what I have right now is actually, it's the fanciest way I've ever had shoes. I have non-waterproof shoes and waterproof shoes. Mm-hmm. So I wear the non-waterproof shoes in between the waterproof shoes so they have a chance to dry out and I don't have to wear them again so fast. And they both last longer.
Yep. Yeah,
Very
that's
cool.
definitely the way to do it.
You guys have any other
no.
tips for what shoes do you like? What do you have?
I have a pair of Adidas, what were they called? The Terrex, I think. Mm-hmm. They were on sale, so that's what I got. And they are waterproof. Now I like the waterproofness, just because, my feet, your feet feel worn out after one round of being wet and stuff like that. So
wet socks are the worst too.
Yeah. So, but definitely the trail style shoes, I find much more support as I'm walking around the course. In fact, now that I've done that for a long time, if I happen to forget, like when I went to go play disc golf with my grandson on Saturday, all I had was regular tennis shoes, and I hated the way my foot was just all over the place when I tried to throw and stuff like that. I love the stability that a mountain or a trail shoe provides for sure. Now that's just, like you said, that's personal preference. That's just kind of what I prefer. I've seen plenty of people play in like Adidas Boosts, which I can't imagine playing in those. But yeah, and people prefer doing that for the comfort, I'm sure.
Yeah, one that I don't think you mentioned it, Danny, but one of my favorite disc golf shoes that I've had, I forget the exact model number, but it was a Salomon something. And I have like wider feet, so they were super wide in the toe box. They didn't hurt at all. They were extremely comfortable. And the lacing system is kind of just like a drawstring on a water bottle. You just pull the string and it has a thing that kind of clips onto it. And so it stays tight. So you don't have to worry about your shoe coming untied. You don't have to worry about retying it. It's literally just pull the string, and then they have a little flap on the tongue where you can tuck that in. Takes 2 seconds. I forget, it was some sort of GX 220 or something. But yeah, Salomon and Adidas are the two brands that I'll usually look at.
I usually just search on Amazon trail running shoe and find the one on sale. if
you
I'm
go.
being honest.
Yep.
Very cool. All right, let's get back to Speak Pipe and let's hear from Esther.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man. I hope you're well. My name's Esther, and I work at a tech company called Telby. And I'm just reaching out today because I noticed that you're using SpeakPipe on your website, which is a really great service. And my team and I have basically built a similar tool, which also lets you hear from visitors via your website, that essentially gives you a lot more customization options over how your voice recorder looks on your website, and a lot more functionality in the voice inbox as well, where you manage your voicemails. And we're adding new features to the platform all the time, which we think you'll really love. So yeah, check out our website at telby.io. And also, if you'd like to have a chat with us, which we'd absolutely love, I would love to walk you through how our voice messaging tool works, how it could help you and offer you more than SpeakPipe does, and also give you a special promotion too and let you try it out. So please get in touch if this is something you'd be interested in. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day.
Danny, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah.
We just all got spammed live on the
Yeah.
Disc Golf Answer Man.
So there's a minute of our collective lives that we won't get back.
I'm actually going to reach out because maybe it does have some better features, but good on you, Esther, for a little hack there, getting in there and just leaving a speak pipe message. That was hilarious. That's awesome. Okay, so let's get back to some real. No, you know what would have really been cool if she would have said something at the end and said something like, "So anyway, I'm looking for a
also
new
my,
mid-range."
my trespass flips over
Right.
too much. What do I?
Then I would have been sold. All right, this one's from Jake. If I can throw a 168, this has to be speak to text because it's a 168 gram, as in graham cracker.
Oh no.
168 gram sapphire around 310 feet and an escape about the same. Would a Maverick be a good disc for me? And if so, in what plastic? What do you think, Anthony?
First of all, yes, the Maverick would be a good disc for you. This applies
Just in general.
to everyone. Yeah. It would be fairly similar to the stability is pretty close on all three of those discs. So plastic, it really doesn't matter too much with the Maverick. I think the Lucids are a little bit more stable. The Lucid X is definitely more stable, but between Lucid and Fusion, I don't notice a huge difference. So if you're looking for a little bit more variation from your Sapphire and Escape, I would say try out the Lucid X Maverick. But if you just want a slightly slower, probably 20 to 50 feet shorter version, then check out just the stock Lucid Maverick.
The difference in flight, I think, between the Sapphire Escape and the Maverick is easier to just get straight, because the Escape and the Sapphire are going to wiggle more left and right. The Maverick is just straight.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got next. It comes from. Whoops, I was not prepared. You guys answered that faster than I thought you would. Let's see. Disc Golf Media from Kyle. Hey, guys, love the podcast. I just started disc golf this past May and have fallen in love with it. I also run a video production company, and I'm wondering what you would recommend to someone considering getting into disc golf media. Is it still possible to film events? Are there untapped kinds of videos within disc golf? My company mainly does corporate videos and drone stuff. I think this guy reached out to me directly to my email address. Thanks for all you do. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Real?
Not
real.
Disc golf media. Yeah. I mean, disc golf is growing. And so disc golf media is growing. You can see it in Jomez's numbers. Their YouTube channel is growing exponentially. You have other people that do disc golf stuff. You have Michael Holt, who does video gaming, but he has his mobile video gaming channel, but he also has
video gaming.
Video gaming.
Yes, the kids in their video gaming.
Yes,
all these
In their video gaming.
Tell
Quit your
me you're a
video
grandfather
gaming.
without telling me
That
you're a
video
grandfather.
gaming's ruining your brain. Anyway, it does mobile game YouTube channel and a disc golf, kind of a lifestyle YouTube channel, but it does mostly disc golf. It's growing. I would say there's plenty of room for disc golf media.
tournament coverage is usually at the big events anyways covered by most
Yeah.
companies, but like if you want to film your local events and put your local scene out there, showcase your local courses, that'd be sick.
I'm telling you, you go to a local disc golf community and they're putting on a halfway decent event and you say, hey, can I film the lead card for some experience and just to kind of build my name in disc golf media? They will be like, yes, please.
Mhm.
They will automatically
reach
do
out
it.
ahead of time. Don't show up to the
Right,
day
yeah.
of the event and say, hey man, I got my camera and another crew. we're going to film this thing. Is that cool? Reach out ahead of time. Make sure that you can clear everything with either the TD or the local scene, whoever's in charge. But yeah, if you're doing a local C tier or even a B tier, I bet they'll have no issues with it.
Yeah.
I will say, in general, in disc golf media, you're not gonna. There's not much of like blowing up. It's because disc golf just is relatively a small portion of the population, so it's not like you're gonna all of a sudden get millions of subscribers just because you're filming disc golf events. So find something you like doing rather than doing it to try and get popular or get famous or something like that. Do it because it's what you're passionate about and what you love to do, and then the following will come.
Yep.
Next one comes from Charlie. Form slipping. Hello, gents. I played for a while, but only recently started working on my mechanics and taking it seriously. I've noticed that especially with my backhands, my form will slip every now and then, and I have to almost start over to get my technique back. Now that my form is fairly established, I can usually get it back in one good day of field work. But I have to notice that I've even lost it in the first place to do so. Is this normal? Are there any exercises or mental checklists that help keep all the screws tight, or does it just take time for it to become muscle memory? I'm still new enough that I'll occasionally make significant changes in search of improvement. When my form is good, I can usually push my Undertaker, which is a 9.5 -1 and 2, to about 300 to 325 feet with relative accuracy. My current form seems relatively consistent and doesn't cause me injury. Should I stop making big changes and search for improvement incrementally from now on? Sorry for the long question.
I would say just keep making small changes. I would start from the ground up is usually what I look for. Even like I'll start at my feet and then I'll go to reach back and weight shift and up to the release point. And by then I've probably made another bad habit in my feet and I'll restart and just go one thing at a time all the way up. So to answer your last question, that's what I would do. As far as form slipping, usually that will happen if like you've taken a break or come back rusty from a break or something like that. If it just happens randomly, it can be possible that you're just overthinking your throw. If you're trying to think about your grip and your elbow and your wrist and your foot and your hip and your ankle and everything all at the same time, you're not going to be able to throw very well. But if you have just one thing that you're focusing on, usually I'm just focusing on my release point. That the instant that I let go of the disc, that's all that's in my head while I'm throwing. Having a swing thought, just one thing can help a lot with consistency.
I mean, and that's kind of normal just in any sport or in anything you do that you've done for the longest, and you kind of feel like you're in your groove, and you might change something, and that's going to throw the groove off. Or, that's why you have the spring training and all that. People come back and they got to get back into the groove of playing that particular sport, and they may be a little bit off. So, yeah, I don't know if it's something to be like overly worried about.
Yeah, some people have off days. It just happens.
Yes.
Some of us have exclusively off days.
Yes, I'm waiting for some on days to happen here pretty soon. Okay, Anthony, what do you got for us as far as a disc review for the week?
So this week I wanted to, it's unfortunate that he's not here, but I wanted to talk about the Emac Truth. This was one that I think we all said for our 5-disc lineup.
I think Bobby said Truth.
Okay, well, those of us who know what we're talking about said that was just a coincidence. The reason that I actually wanted to talk about this was I came across a video from a guy named Trash Panda Disc Golf on YouTube last night, where he wanted to try and find, quote, the best mid-range. And he took popular mid-ranges from different brands across the board, and he threw them all in a series of tests and figured out what's the most accurate on this, what's the most accurate for that, gave everything points. And the one that came out on top as, quote, the best mid-range in disc golf was the Emac Truth. That was first, the Compass was second, and I forget the rest. But I thought it was really cool, and I thought it'd be a cool chance to talk about it, because I do think that's the best mid-range in disc golf. That's my go-to mid-range. I think that's everyone on this call's go-to mid-range. It's a speed 5, glide 5, turn 0, and a fade of 2. So it's very straight. It's going to have a little bit of fade, but what really sets it out from the rest of the mid-ranges are the distance that you can get with it and the glide that it has. Earlier, Danny was talking about it, saying it almost acts like a fairway driver, and it really does. If you throw your Emac Truth and then you throw your Maverick or your Evader or Explorer or whatever, the distance difference between the two is going to be smaller than you expect, I promise. Like the Emac Truth will land closer to your fairways than you are expecting. It's got the stability to really handle anything. I wouldn't use it in strong winds, but if you're trying to throw a hyzer shot, you can do that. If you're trying to throw a turnover shot, you can do that. If you've got some smooth technique, you can throw it on sidearms. It really is a do-it-all type mid-range. And like I said, when I saw that video last night, it wasn't a surprise to me that the Emac Truth won. I thought it was pretty cool, but it was not what I would say surprising. I expected it to do very well, because it's one of those discs that everybody can use. You can use it for everything, and yeah, it's great. Emac Truth, you should check them out. I feel like a world champion now.
That was a world champion review for sure. Definitely. 2021 world champion disc review. Thank you so much for today.
Of March 2nd disc
March
reviews
2nd,
on the Disc
yes.
Golf Answer Man.
Tomorrow, tomorrow we'll pick a new winner.
Okay.
Let's do a couple more questions, and we'll start talking about a little bit about the Las Vegas Challenge and our thoughts on the event, and then of course your Skip Ace winner. This next question comes from Mr. Jiggly. He wants us to get jiggly with it. He says, hello to GAM fam. I recently started a YouTube channel, Mr. Jiggly Disc Golf, geared toward beginners like myself. I've decided to exclusively use Trilogy discs because of how much I not only enjoy their products, but because of how much I love the companies. I am on the Dynamic Disc Squad, so I can use the term Team Trilogy. Oh, so can I use the term Team Trilogy, or is that reserved for only those who are monetarily sponsored by Trilogy? Thank you guys for everything you do. Any feedback will help. So just for some clarification, I understand it can be kind of confusing. It can be because people tend to use these different terms sometimes loosely. So Team Trilogy is actually a fan-driven team. Okay, they're not monetarily compensated to be on Team Trilogy. It is just people saying, we love the three different companies. We love the products. We love representing them. So we as fans want to show our support and say, we're going to be our own team that supports these three companies. Now, obviously, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago? I can't remember how long ago it was. We recognized this and we saw this and we thought, well, this is amazing. Obviously, we want to show our support for these people. If they're going to be loyal to us, we're going to be loyal to them. So we created this program for them. If you become part of Team Trilogy, now again, you're not committed to anything to us. You've just said that you're just going to use our products only to show your support. So we do little things for the team to do that. Again, fan driven, fan sponsored. Everything is driven by the fans on that one.
It's a really cool community though.
It is. It really is cool.
I'm on Team Trilogy. Group. It's a bunch of cool people. You get some cool apparel too. You get there's like a section of the store where you can have Team Trilogy stamped discs. It's a really cool place.
Yeah, we usually do at the Glassbone Open, now DD Open. We do special Team Trilogy meetups where everybody gets to kind of get together and meet each other and talk stuff. So now there are the three companies, Latitude, Westside, and Dynamic Discs, that make up what has been dubbed the Trilogy. And those have sponsored team members, but that is not quote unquote Team Trilogy. That is a jargon or a nickname, pseudonym, if you will, that people kind of refer to that. So Dynamic Disc Squad is just a squad that says similar to Team Trilogy, but in ways that the squad is just you saying that I am a fan of your products and I want to represent your products. And because I'm going to represent your products, we give you little incentives and rewards. Am I explaining that correct, Anthony?
Sort of, yeah. So one of the big differences between Team Trilogy and between the squad is if you're in the squad, I can send you challenges and I can send you, hey, do this and you get some points. Hey, do that and you get some points. Whereas Team Trilogy, as far as I'm aware, doesn't have that because it's not a directly affiliated with Dynamic Discs program. We don't, like you said, we don't run Team Trilogy. We are not in charge of Team Trilogy. That's a fan-driven thing. And another big thing is Team Trilogy, one of the ways or one of the requirements to get into it is that you only throw Trilogy discs, so Latitude, Westside, and DD. To be a member of the squad, you do not have to throw exclusively our products. You don't have to use our bags or our whatever. If you have a bag or a disc from some other manufacturer that you like, that's fine. You can still use that and be a part of the squad. There won't be any challenges, or you won't get any points for that specific item, but you can still be a part of the squad. Where Team Trilogy, you have to throw our stuff, you have to use our stuff. But yeah, they're very similar for sure.
Very cool. All right. Hopefully that helps kind of clarify a little bit. Let's do one more question and then we'll start doing some tournament talk. This one is on stability. Cameron wants to know, hey, DeGam fam, I've been playing since March and really started to get into disc golf over the past few months. I have a question about the plastic type affects the stability, how the plastic type affects the stability and the flight of the disc. How much of a difference is there between the most overstable and understable plastics? For example, I've heard that the Judge and the Warden fly almost exactly the same, but the Judge is slightly more stable. Would a Lucid X Warden still be more understable than a Prime Judge? Keep up the good work and thanks for all you do. Hashtag Team Judge.
I don't think it makes that big. I mean, it makes a big difference, but usually it's like, I don't know. It's like different condiments on a hot dog. If one disc is a hot dog and then you have a burger and then you have a corn dog or something like that, a hot dog with ketchup on it is not going to taste like a burger. Bit of an out there thing. But I mean, like a really overstable trespass is not going to be a Raider. It's still going to be different, if that makes sense. So it's very rare that you'll have two discs that fly exactly the same, but they're different molds just in the most overstable and the most understable plastic. I have a very beat up Trespass. It still doesn't fly like a Renegade. It still has definitely Trespass unique things to it. Usually there is I don't know, a pretty big difference between the most overstable and the most understable. I'm thinking like a Bio Trespass versus a Lucid X Trespass, but they're still noticeably different than a completely different disc.
Yeah, and it's hard because you can't have just a generic, this is how much it changes, right? A Lucid X Trespass to a Lucid Trespass is not necessarily the same stability difference as a Lucid X Warden to a Lucid Warden, or a Lucid X Felon to a Lucid Felon. Across the board, Lucid X is typically more overstable than Lucid, which is typically more overstable than Fusion, which is typically more overstable than Biofusion. But all discs are different, right? They're all different shapes, they're all different sizes, they're all different. Everything is different about them, so they're going to handle different plastics differently. They're going to have different conditions when they're molded. So yeah, it's hard to just have a general rule of like it will be X unit of measurement more overstable or less overstable. So yeah, it's tough. I would guess maybe the Lucid Warden would be more stable. It definitely will be after a few months time, once the Prime Judge starts beating in and the Lucid Warden doesn't. But yeah, I mean, if you like the Warden and want to throw one, throw a Lucid one. If you like the Judge, then throw your Prime Judge.
So what if I had a hot dog,
Okay.
but I only had hamburger buns? It's still not going to taste like a hamburger?
Still not going to taste like a hamburger.
Dadgummit.
No matter how much ketchup, mustard, relish, whatever you put on there.
I got to go to Walmart after this.
I'm getting hungry, man. Someone asked which plastic is most like a veggie dog.
None of them. Veggie dogs are out.
The turkey bacon out of here, dude. Take it with you.
All right, guys. Thanks for sending in your disc golf questions. We appreciate that. I'm glad we could get some of them on the air. Continue to send those questions in, and we will get them answered for you. discgolfanswerman.com. All right, let's talk a little bit of tournament talk here. So we just had the Las Vegas Challenge, and you could feel the excitement as far as at least what I saw on the social media chat. It was so nice to have disc golf back as far as watching the top touring pros play. Of course, a lot of the players doing exactly what they do, some amazing shots, amazing throw. Of course, we found out about Paul Macbeth and his $10 million over the next 10 years. So it's really cool to see the sport of disc golf making progress as far as that type of stuff. The courses look pretty good. I know that there were some people that weren't exactly excited about some of the course layout, but for the most part, it seemed like the pros were happy to be out playing disc golf. And I guess I noticed there was no spectators, right? It was all just players, caddies and stuff. Or did they have a few spectators?
Yeah,
Like I said,
in watching Jomez, it looked like there was people there that would follow the group, whether that was like approved spectators or caddies or players that had finished. I'm not totally sure, but it definitely was not open to the public. Just show up and spectate. It was not like that at all. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly who or how many people they let in.
Yeah. The biggest thing that stood out for me was during the live that I caught was Paige Pierce's frustration on, I can't remember what a hole it was, but she I believe had double bogeyed that hole and hit the cage at one point, and she let out an audible, not a scream, but just a grunt or just out of frustration. And I was like, I've been following Paige Pierce for years, in fact, filming her for quite a few years. And that's the first time I've heard her just be out loud upset. That I thought that was interesting. But what were your all thoughts on the coverage and the event itself?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was, as far as I'm aware, the first time that Ian has done live commentary for Disc Golf Network. I thought he did really well. I might be biased. I really like Ian. But I thought he did a really good job. I thought the live coverage as a whole was really good. I was very impressed with everything.
I've been meaning to ask you about Ian. Does he reach out to players and ask what disc they throw? Because he was very confident on a lot of those things that I would just be guessing on.
Yeah, I know he used to when he would do post-produced stuff on Central Coast. I would bet they probably did ahead of time, but it could just be like he just has the brain for that stuff. It could just be that he just knows, like, okay, if Eagle is throwing an orange disc, it's this. If Paul is throwing a blue disc, it's that. But yeah, that was one thing that was really cool. It didn't feel like, okay, so-and-so is throwing such and such disc, it's overstable. But it was cool to know, like, okay, Double G is throwing this destroyer, or Eric Oakley is throwing this felon, or whatever it was. I thought that was really cool. I thought that added a lot to it for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so good stuff all around as far as the coverage and things like that.
It was. Did you guys get to watch the Jomez? It was, I think, the first time they've had Paul, Nate, and Germ on commentary. It was at least, as far as I'm aware, the first time I've seen 3 people on commentary.
I heard it was a bit rough the first day, but I haven't watched any past that. I was kept watching live.
Yeah, that's what I've seen a lot of people saying, that like their chemistry was off and it's not good or whatever. But I mean, I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool to have 3 people that are, 1, entertaining, and 2, know what they're talking about. Right? You could have 3 people that don't know what they're talking about, and it's like, well, I would do this or I would do that, or you can't make this mistake or whatever. But like, all 3 of them played the event. All 3 of them have played the event. They've all been there, done that. I thought it was cool. I kind of liked it.
I'd imagine with the chemistry thing that it'll just take a few times for them to do it together to learn their tempo and things like that. So so let's talk about a little skip ace. How did you do, Anthony?
So back to Jomez or anything else. It was a little rusty for me. Ricky did really well, got me 190 points. Kevin Jones did really well, got me 183 points. Haley King overcame what was probably one of the worst rounds that she's had in a long time in round 1 and got me 155 points. Rebecca Cox got a respectable 90. Jordan Castro with a solid 74. And then Tristan Tanner did not have his best weekend.
No.
Yeah, I saw he posted on Instagram something about like it was just a weird weekend for him, where it was like his game is feeling as good as it's ever been. His mental attitude is feeling as good as it's ever been. It just wasn't coming together on the course. And so I ended up losing 200 points from Tristan. So I finished in a whopping 297th.
I had Tristan, and I forgot to pick someone other than Nico.
Ouch.
It's not a good idea.
No, it's not.
That's a rip right there. So our winner this week was, I'm probably going to butcher this name, Robert Stewer or Stoyer, maybe. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce that. Robert came in 78th, or he was tied for 77th, I think. So Robert, if you could send me an email to anthony@dynamicdiscs.com with a screenshot of you logged into your account, we can get something sent your way for smoking me by over 200 spots and still being in 78th.
Nice. Good stuff on the first event for sure. So the next one coming up is the Waco Annual Charity Open, or sometimes or mostly just referred to as Waco, and that's going to be in Texas. And last minute, me and Anthony are trying to put together plans to head down there. So I'm excited about doing a disc golf adventure, being on a disc golf adventure, getting out and traveling. We are about, it was such short notice. We're about 90% sure we're going to go. But if we do, we'll be out there, take off Tuesday, come back either that Friday, or might just stay the whole weekend. We'll just have to see how things pan out. But because of that, we won't have a Disc Golf Answer Man next week, or at least we don't plan on it. Maybe when me and Anthony are there, if we're set up and things are good, I mean, we could probably zoom in on with Danny, so you don't know. But just to let you know ahead of time, there may not be an episode next week. That's some other things I can do. Now that I got that new field recorder, maybe we can do some audio stuff for the podcast people, some audio only. What was it? A walk and talk with Emerson was one of the ones. I think a lot of people enjoy that. So maybe I can do that with some of the players while you're filming one guy. I could be doing the walk and talk with another player, Anthony.
That'd be super cool.
All right. So a little marketing strategy, right? Live on behind the scenes on Disc Golf Answer Man. So anyway, so because of that, also, we want to hear about your picks for Waco, Anthony. That way we have all those put out there and people can plug those in.
Yeah. So we're coming back strong next week. Starting off at the top, I'm going to take Paul. I need a solid performance this week. And if there's anyone that can deliver a solid performance, it's Paul. So he was a shoe-in for my number 1 pick. My number 2 pick is going to be Kevin Jones. Kevin, like I said last time, Kevin can throw every shot. He has the distance to compete with the longest throwers. He has the control to throw through the woods, and you need both at Waco. So I feel very strongly that he will perform there. Next, I've got Ezra. Ezra is rated 1016 right now, and I forget exactly what he averaged in Vegas, but it was way, way above 1016. I think Ezra is a lot better than his 1016 rating, playing well above that throughout the year. So I think Ezra is a bit of a value pick right now. Before his rating jumps up, I think it's a good chance to save some points and get some points. And my 4th MPO pick is going to be Brian Earhart. He's a lefty from Illinois, so I'm not a lefty, but I'll pick an Illinois guy when I can. And I remember on Instagram the other week, Chris Clemens was doing kind of a Q&A, and somebody asked him what the most lefty-friendly course was, and he said Waco. So I thought, all right, cool. Now is my chance. I can take Brian. Brian is coming off an incredibly hot weekend in Vegas. He played really, really well. And Brian at a 1013 rating, I think is a little bit of a value as well. I think that rating is a little bit lower than his actual skill level. Plus, with Waco being a lefty-friendly course, quote Chris Clemens, I think he'll have a good weekend there. For FPO picks, I've got Heather Young. She always seems to do really well out there. She's got the touch to play in the woods. She's a great putter, and I expect a good finish from her. I think it was 2 years ago she was in the running. Last year was kind of tough to tell because they had to cancel the event short. They only got to play 2 rounds, so you can kind of throw last year's finishing out of the books for people. And then my second FPO pick is Rebecca Cox. I'm going to run it back with Rebecca. She, again, always seems to play really well at Waco. Just nice and smooth, keep it in the fairway, throw it straight, and that's going to get rewarded out there. So once again, I've got Paul, Kevin, Ezra, Brian Earhart, and then FPO, I've got Rebecca Cox and Heather Young. And
I'm going to, as soon as we get to Waco, I'm running up to Clemens and tell him, hey, Clemens, Anthony used a quote from you about lefties in Waco. However, did not pick you.
I did not.
His.
This is true. Yes. And the hard part is that, like, I
literally thought you were going to say, after you said I talked to Clemens, and so Clemens will be my pick, and then you pulled out Earhart, and I was like, what?
Yes. So I have, with these picks, I have 7 remaining points. And that means that let me do the math really quick. I am 12 points away from being able to pick Clemens. And
you...
I have 7 points remaining.
Okay, I'm with you on Paul. Definitely fantastic choice, as always, if you can afford him.
Yes.
I like Ezra. I went with James Conrad over Kevin Jones just because he's a little bit lower rated, I think, right?
James is 1029, yeah, so 5 points lower.
And then have you considered Bradley Williams?
I did not.
He is playing this event. He is signed up right now. He's on the PDGA thing.
Okay.
That's really the only person that I wanted to talk about. He's 1024. Bradley shreds. If you've never seen Bradley play,
good.
His form is super clean.
Yeah.
He's a really, really good player. If any event in Texas, he's at least on the, I don't know, what am I thinking of? On the table as far as picks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The one that I was going back and forth on was Double G. He played really well in Vegas. He typically plays really well in Waco, which you wouldn't expect. You think of Garrett Gerthy and you think, okay, he's going to throw super far. But he absolutely can play. He always seems to finish well at Waco.
Well, when you could throw a Sonic on 500-foot holes, you might as well.
Right. Yeah. And then the other one that I was looking for, or I was looking at, but I didn't want another negative 200 was there's this guy at 1005, Robert McCall, who says he's playing. And
Robert's playing Waco?
There is a Robert McCall rated 1005 on the Skip Ace picks. And
there he is, yeah.
I'm trying to not finish in 297th, so I avoided that like the plague.
It's a good call for sure.
Oh, Roberto.
Wait, I want to come to Waco now. I want to say hi to Robert.
I'm gonna go make fun of Robert. I've missed
That's
that.
a good point. Yeah. I don't know. I like the picks.
I put my picks in.
Who are your picks, Bobby?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Oh.
Robert. Yeah, Robert. Right.
Okay.
Macbeth, Double G. Oh, I didn't mean to pick him.
Oh, shots fired.
I meant to pick.
Who was it?
Clemens.
Okay.
Paul Macbeth, Garrett Gerthy, Chris Clemens, Nicholas Carl, who just my leftover. Sorry, Nicholas.
Wow.
Sarah Holcomb and Rebecca Cox. I like the Rebecca Cox pick, but Sarah, when I've been to Waco, she can shred the woods
so
course.
Good in the woods.
So good with that forehand in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
Similar line. I thought about Big Germ.
Yep.
Just hyzer flip forehands all day.
Didn't he win it one year? I remember he was in
him and
playoff.
Another good one to look at for Waco, who always plays well there, is Nate Perkins. Nate Perkins and Big Germ always shred Waco. They always play really well there.
Yeah. So I know Sarah didn't have the greatest at Las Vegas. Where did she end up in Las Vegas Challenge? I know one day she didn't have such a great day, but
the Vegas courses definitely don't fit her game as well as Waco. She's much more about shaping shots and landing safe, where Vegas, distance is definitely rewarded out there. Yeah, she's a really good pick for Waco.
Well, she tied for 6th, so not
by no means
the worst. No,
bad. Yes,
yeah.
I would bet that she will finish higher than 6th next week.
Looks like she had quite a few bogeys and double bogeys on the course. So, but I think she'll do much better at Waco. So, yeah, those are my picks. So I'm going to see now. I want to see if I can beat Anthony.
I want to change my FPO pick to Tracer. Actually,
okay. All right, cool. So, guys, get your picks in for the Disc Golf Answer Man group. You just go to DeGam, and then if you want to join, you can put code DeGam in. If you're already in the league, then get your picks in before. Well, we're doing it early, so you've got a week or so to get your picks in. So, and then you can see if you beat Anthony, then you win some prizes. No, you get a chance to win.
There
prizes.
we go. Yes,
not
if we send out
everybody.
prizes to everyone who beat Anthony, we would go broke real fast.
We would be ending that deal this week.
Disc golf might still be here, but Dynamic Discs will not be here anymore.
So one random person who beats me each week will win something, and then the overall winner at the end of the year will get a $50 gift card to dynamicdiscs.com.
Sick. So good stuff. And if you just want to get into the actual official Skip Ace League, we are presenting a partner with Skip Ace, and he is Johnny V is giving away gift cards to Dynamic Discs online store. So get yourself a chance to win double prizes as well to join just the specific Skip Ace League.
Nice.
So thank you to Johnny V for allowing us to partner up with him. You guys know that we always have a fun relationship with Smashbox and Johnny V, and of course Fantasy Disc Golf. We love doing that stuff. All right, so that's it for the Skip Ace. Let's talk about a few bits of disc golf news that I saw on PDJ.com. So first of all, the 2021 Pro Worlds invite list is out, and once again, I am not on the list.
Yeah, mine's probably in the mail.
Is it? Okay, yeah. So
I would assume. I haven't checked today, but
if you
probably
have
out
the
there.
potential to be invited to Pro Worlds, make sure you check that out. Now, of course, that's going to be in Ogden, Utah this year. And I believe that we have, I think Gabe has an Airbnb for that, I believe. So I know that some of us might go out there for Worlds to travel out there. And I'm excited about that. I don't know that I've ever been to Utah. Have I been to
You short?
Anyway, so that'll be fun. So that's taking place. Also, PDJ announced the return of the Women's Global event, which is May 8th and 9th. Of course, the Women's Global event is a way to get more women involved in disc golf and playing tournaments. There's not one specific location, but there'll be locations all over the United States and the world, actually. And you compete against the people in that event, but you also compete on a global level. So it's really cool. Now, of course,
Women's Global event. It's always cool to see pictures of that and everything. It's a real. It sounds like just a small thing, but it actually ends up being feeling like a pretty big event from what I've heard of everyone who played it. I've not played in it personally, but
and it is. What was I going to say? It is. It was supposed to be last year, I believe, but the pandemic caused it to not. So that's kind of cool that it's back for 2021. And of course, we're part of that. We have a World Women's Global event stamped judge that is part of the player pack.
Nice.
So good stuff there. So that's all the news I have. Do you have any news that you guys saw as far as disc golf? I mean, of course, we talk about the Las Vegas Challenge. That's fantastic. Oh, I do want to talk. Okay, so before we get to Danny's dumb ideas.
Hey, they're not bad.
DUMB, our acronym, dumb. So I just like saying Danny's dumb ideas. Is that I saw this question on Facebook and I thought I want to see what y'all's opinion on this. So because it seems that I don't want to say every year, but it's been the last couple of years, at least when Disc Golf Network has been put behind a paywall to, I think it was last year the first year, or was that? It's been a couple years.
I believe last year was the first year.
Is the first year? Okay, so you
pay for. They tried it 2 years ago, and then they actually did it last year.
Right.
So you pay for a subscription to watch the first 1 or 2, 3 rounds, but then they put the live final round free on YouTube. So if you want to watch the other rounds, then you pay a subscription. And then, of course, in the Disc Golf Network, you have other videos they put out, special conferences and interviews and stuff like that. So a lot of people I saw on Facebook, a lot of chatter, and I know people like to complain, but they had, people were complaining immediately, like even when I put on the Disc Golf Answer My Facebook group, here's how to watch disc golf. And of course it talks about watching it on Disc Golf Network. And immediately people are just like, I'd rather watch Jomez. I'd rather wait until it's out for free. I'm not going to pay. Here's my hot take. Y'all need to shut up. So because now I get it. If financially, if it's something you're strapped, okay. If it's not in your budget, I get it. But don't make a big deal out of paying for disc golf. What is the big deal? You pay for so many other things out there. What is wrong with paying to watch disc golf?
I think the way it's set up is actually really great, because if you're like the hardcore fan that wants to watch live disc golf on every chance you can, then you're the person that should be paying for it. But if you don't really care that much, you still get Jomez on the next day, and that's shorter, and a lot of people prefer watching that, and you still get to watch the final round. So nobody's like grabbing you by the ear and forcing you to pay for the live coverage. You can still watch the event, and you can still get the last round for free. And so I completely agree.
Yeah, I just don't understand why people get so bent out of shape. What are your thoughts, Anthony?
I think Danny's right. I think.
Wait, Danny said what I said.
I think.
Yeah, Danny's but I'm right.
Yeah,
but Danny's right. Okay.
Yeah. I think Danny's right.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think that expecting disc golf coverage to be free is kind of, yesterday, quote unquote, thought process. I don't think you don't get things for free forever. I think that people were doing it for free before because it was like, well, this is just the only way that we can do it. We're not going to get paid for it, but to grow things, money has to come from somewhere. And I think it's absolutely a I don't know the right word for it, a purchasable quality, right?
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't pay for that and think I got ripped off. I wouldn't pay for that and be like, this isn't good. Why am I paying for this? I think that it's absolutely money well spent. And like you said, if it's not something that you want to pay for, you don't have to. Jomez is free. The final round is free. If it's not something that you can pay for, Jomez is free. The final round is still free. You still get to see all the action, even for the first 3 rounds. If you just check UDisc, it's still free. You still get to see everything. You see OB off the tee, putting for birdie from circle 2, whatever. All the stats and all the information is still out there for free. I think, yeah, it's just the premium way to view the first 3 rounds live. I think it's good. I like it.
If we're wondering what Robert's thoughts on the matter, he thinks that y'all need to shut up is a great hot take.
It is.
And it should be on the table for all hot take segments. He's in the chat right now. We were talking about picking him for Waco. It's too expensive, man. We just can't justify the points. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah, we came to the group consensus that he needs to shut up. And, we're gonna go with somebody else.
Got him.
All right, cool. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there. I really think that
it feels
the only thing is that are they slowly the other thing is though, are they slowly moving toward to where everything will be behind the paywall?
I'd be okay with all live behind a paywall.
Yeah.
As long as post-produced is free. If all live is behind the paywall, I'm down with that.
Yeah. I think what a lot of people forget is that they think, and this is my logic, the way I think about it, is a lot of people forget that, like, well, I can watch the Super Bowl, I can watch World Series. Well, but you're paying for cable. You're either paying for cable or you're paying for some sort of internet service. Now, yes, there's ways to hack. There's ways you can go out and buy an antenna and try to pick up a signal. Sure, you're not going to get the best quality. Now, you can get HD antennas, but if you're watching it via YouTube TV or Hulu or whoever, you're paying somebody to have access to that. Mm-hmm. So don't get it twisted. That's my hot take. Don't get it twisted.
Hot take number 1, y'all need to shut up.
Yeah.
Hot take number 2, don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted. You are
hot take number 3,
paying.
Robert specifically needs to shut up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You are paying somehow. If you're paying for the internet, you're paying to be able to have access to watch something. So anyway, so Robert, you're playing the Waco. So Torchy's Taco is on you. So thanks. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
You're swell.
Nice of him to offer that.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So appreciate that.
The whole discussion about like paying for coverage feels very similar to me to like pay to play courses, right? Not every course is ever going to be pay to play. There's always going to be free courses, but every pay to play course that I've ever played has felt worth paying for.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be a similar thing where like I wouldn't be surprised in the future if Jomez offered, I don't know, early access to their Patreon patrons or something where it's like you pay for something and you get a better version of it. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so what do you got, Danny?
Okay. If you guys don't know, this segment is Danny's underrated, mind-blowing ideas or dumb ideas. And in this segment, I have ideas that I pitch to the other people on this call right now, and they kind of help me. They help me work through them and decide if they're good ideas or if they are dumb. So I have 2 ideas. The first one I think would be fairly easy to put into place. So the barrier to entry is very low. I don't know if you guys remember, but like a number of years ago, whenever like cloud services and cloud computing and cloud storage and stuff like that really started to blow up, there was an extension on Chrome called Cloud to Butt. Are you familiar with it? You're not familiar? Okay. What it did is it whenever you had text on your screen or whatever, and it said the word cloud, this extension would change it to say butt, capital BUTT. And it was hilarious because companies were talking about investing in the butt. There was butt computing. It was so funny. And it's something that you installed and you forgot about. And then every once in a while you'd be scrolling like, what the heck are they talking about butts? And then it was so funny. Anyways, this is a similar line to that. Like, I think it would be a similar level of effort to produce to that, but this is an automatic internet distance calculator. So this is a Chrome extension, goes through all the text on the screen or whatever. And whenever somebody posts a value that is in feet, whether it has the apostrophe or says FT or feet or whatever, it automatically just takes off 20%. And I think that would solve
low.
I think that would solve all of the internet distance arguments, because the person's like, yeah, I throw 400 feet. And the other person sees, I throw 380 feet or 360 feet or whatever, which is probably more accurate now that I think about it. But, and that way the person gets to feel good about typing their distance, and the other person gets to feel good because they see an accurate distance. I see no downsides here.
I don't. I think it's fantastic. Will
I
it
think-
apply to other things too? So, like, if you tell a fish story, it shrinks the fish 20%.
Yeah, they could tell that you're holding it closer to the camera.
Right. Yeah.
So here's the thing. The one concern that I had is like the extension won't know whether you're talking about disc golf distance or otherwise. So if like a construction worker or something like that accidentally has it installed, you might just make 80% of a building.
Right.
And it's like shrunk down a little bit. Could be kind of concerning, but also I'm interested. I think that'd be sick.
We're gonna put not liable for any of that stuff. That's all going in the fine print.
That'll be in the EULA for sure.
If you never make it to your destination, you can't blame us.
Right.
I
their head on a
always
door
seem to
frame.
be like 20 miles away.
Yeah.
The other thing, okay. Now the obvious counter argument is that not everybody lies about their distance. So I think if we set the threshold for like when it takes place at like 330 feet, because the people who haven't thrown that far, who don't say they throw that far online, have probably not figured out that there are very minimal downsides to lying about how far you could throw on the internet. Yeah, somebody's going to say that's dumb, but then you'd be like, no, I actually do throw this far. And it's just your word against theirs. Nobody's going to back either one of you up. So those people just haven't figured that part out yet. And so they are actually honest about how far they throw. So we don't need to take the 20% off of that. But once they throw past it, I would argue somebody who says they throw 330 feet on the internet and somebody who says they throw 360 feet on the internet throw the exact same distance.
Sounds very simple. So I think this could be probably take a day to put together for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, not for me. Somebody way smarter than me would have to do it for sure.
It sounds like you already put it together.
Right.
Somebody to
You're basically going to roll it out. Yeah, we're going to roll it out tomorrow.
I've thought through all the things. There's very minimal downsides, except if you're like a construction worker or something. Just beware. Okay. This next idea is, I don't know if you guys have ever had when you were a kid, rock tumblers. You know, when you're like young, shiny rocks are the bee's knees. If you find a rock and it's shiny, it's like the best rock ever. And this was a way that you could make shiny rocks because not all of us lived right by a creek. So this was a thing that my friends had, and it was like a plastic cylinder that you'd put some rocks and some sand and some water in, and then you would plug it in, usually in like a super far corner of your house. And it had a motor on there, and it would just roll the whole thing for days. I don't remember if it was days, weeks, months, whatever. It would roll and make the noise. And after that time, you could open it up, and you'd have shiny rocks in there. And that was really sick because you could make your own shiny rocks. They were always kind of disappointing, but it was I mean, they were kind of shiny. The same idea. Okay. That's like part one. Okay. Now imagine this. You are teeing off on a hole and you have your perfectly beat in driver, and it flies amazing for you. And as you throw it, the headwind kicks up just a little bit and it tips over into the middle of the lake. Now, whether that lake is where maritime law is in effect or whether there's piranhas or it's like acid or something like that, your disc is not coming back. It's gone for forever. Now you have to decide whether you want to get a new disc that flies like your beat up disc, or you want to get a new version of the beat up disc and just deal with it not flying right until you beat it in, right? Wrong. This is where the disc tumbler comes in. Okay. You take the new disc and you put it in this thing and you let it run for probably not even that long, probably like, a day, maybe just a few minutes or something like that. And you can like dial in how much you want it beat in, and then you can get the exact same disc that you just lost.
Question.
So a clothes dryer.
I was going to say, I already have one of these. I put my wet clothes in them and they come out dry.
Hadn't thought about that.
Okay, here we go. Another way to promote our disc tumbler, you can put soaking wet clothes in there and they come out dry.
Exactly.
That's it. Another bonus, and we'll still charge a premium for it.
Oh,
And
of
all
course.
and it'll have the settings on it that say bedding, quick dry, and we'll just
Yeah.
give you a little
Delicates.
magnetic thing to put it on top that
Yeah.
says, super beat in, kind of beat in like that. And that's so perfect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
How
just
about
a
like 1 month of wear, 2 months of wear, 3 months of wear?
Correct.
I like that. All right,
Yeah.
sick. So it's already done. We just need to charge people if they're putting their discs in dryers now.
Correct.
Exactly.
We just copyright it, and then you owe us money now.
Yeah, I'd like my royalties, please.
Hey, I could start a service though and upcharge, because what's it cost? 75 cents at the laundromat.
Mhm.
So upcharge $1 per
There you go.
disc and just go to the laundromat and just put 10 or 12 of them in there. And it should be fine.
There you go.
You're just gonna call it Bobby's disc beating services, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
Bobby beats him up.
Beetle mat. Bobby's Beetle mat.
I like it. I mean, the thing is, you have discs in there. People want different levels of beat in. Like some of them might just want the newness taken off. Some of them might want rollers. So I mean, it take a lot of logistics. I'm just saying, I'm in it with you. If you want to like go 50-50 on it, I'm down.
yeah, this is a good one.
Did you ever see that? I know this is kind of off topic, but there was a video that was floating around where somebody put a cement block in a dryer
Yes,
to
And
see
the
how
whole
long
thing
it would
is the
last.
cinder block. Yes, and
Yes,
it was not
and it was
long.
just like
It
and
was
it just
not
like
long.
tore the thing apart, and it was falling apart.
Yes.
Was it a dryer or a spin cycle? Because it was going
It was-
fast.
I think it was
It
spin
was-
cycle.
I thought it was a dryer because
No,
I
it might have
remembered the thing getting airtime. Maybe it was a wash spun this way, but yes,
That was intense.
mhm. They could not do laundry afterwards.
Mhm.
Hey, I'm talking. You can earn extra money because that shortens the time, the beat-in time. Do you?
There you go. Put a cinder block in there too. Hopefully, it won't like put a
5
hole in your
seconds.
disc.
5 seconds. I can have it
Or-
ready for you.
We can tell
Efficiency.
people, yeah, we can tell people to put rocks in, and then at the end of it, they'll have their shiny rocks, they'll have their beat-in disc, and now we can sell them another disc tumbler because that one's in pieces.
That's a good
Wait.
point. Yeah.
Put
Use
your
the laundromats.
jeans, your brand new jeans in
Use
there.
the
and you can
laundromats.
go and wash.
And then
Use the-
the next day we can approach the laundromat and say, "Hey, do you guys need new clothes dryers? How about this disc beater that
Uh-huh.
also works as a clothes dryer?"
Naturally.
Oh, God.
Warranty? I've never heard of it. Sorry.
Yeah,
no idea what that is.
Okay. Is that it for the dumb ideas?
That's all the dumb ideas
That's
I
all
have
the dumb
today. I
ideas.
have more though. I have better ones. I have good,
Okay.
one I want Emac on for sure.
You know what sounds what I keep hearing is every time you say I have better ones for next time.
See, the
That's not
problem is
what we're
these are
looking for
actually
here.
good ideas. These like actually could work.
No, but wait, next week there'll be better ones. Wait, that's what you
Better-
said last week.
I mean worse at the same time.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for sticking with us. If you have stuck with us for Danny's dumb ideas, we appreciate it. Make sure. How are people submitting those? I forgot.
There's a Google form on the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook page.
Okay, so submit your dumb ideas to Danny so we can discuss them on the podcast. Cool. All right, that's it, guys. Make sure if you're listening on YouTube or if you're listening on Spotify and you have not checked out Anthony's tournament prep, make sure you go back and find that episode. It's so good. Getting a lot of feedback on that. And this week we will have episode 2 come out. What are you talking about specifically on that one, Anthony?
So episode 1 was like kind of 2 to 3 months away from your event. Episode 2 is about a month away from the event. So as the episodes go, we just get a little bit closer to the actual tournament. So it comes out Thursday morning. It'll be about a month out from your event, what you want to do and how you want to start preparing.
Excellent. So just part of the Disc Golf Audio Network content that we're putting out for you. We also have a new one for me, The Road to DDO, to get you prepared for the Dynamic Discs Open. And we'll have Danny do one on just a bunch of dumb ideas. So just
Yep.
dumb stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Exclusively dumb ideas.
Anyway, thank you guys
Nice.
for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode. See ya.
Bye.